So as we turn the page, 9 and 10 to begin Kabbalat Shabbat. Lechon eranena l'Adonai na'aria letzur yesheno nekandem afanav vetoda bizmiros Maria lo. אל תקשו לבבכם כי גם יום המסתנשם ניסוני אבותיכם יגאלו כמפעלי. ארבעים שנה עקות בדור בעומר עם טועה לבבכם והם לא ידעו דרכי אשר נשבעתי ויפי אם יבואו אל מנוחוסי. Page 11. שיר לאדוני,
שיר חדש, שיר לאדוני, האורץ.
Shemo, Basune Yom Yom, Yeshua Torah, Gagogo Yire, Bodo, Kola Amin, Gado Adonai, Umulale, no, Adonai Shamayu Asa, Only Kata, Megifana, Sikine, Mikashot, Adonai, Mishkot, yeah, Bonne Shame, Ay, Natan Adonai, Eyat Kodesh, Ilumipana, Kona Paretz, Imunagogim, Adonai Mala, Afikon Tebe, Kalutimoya Adin. Oh yeah, my God. Amen. Continue page 13 and 4 down the 9 Malak. Yes, Mechoyim Nabi Manan Vava Sediva Tzelet Mishmal Kishon Yata Adonai Elyon Al Kol Haaretz Me'ona Leisal Kol Elohim Ave Adonai Sinura Shomer Nafshos Chasidav V'yad Yisharim Yad Tzihilem Or Zaru Al Tzadik Or Yisrael V'Simcha Simechu Tzadikim B'Adonai V'Hodu L'Secher Kodesho. Continue page 15 and 16 is Moshe Adonai Shir Chadash. Haril Adonai Kol Haaretz V'Tkuel V'Lezamer V'Zamul Adonai Bechinor V'Chozivam. Ne'aro Simcha Uchav. Let the rivers clap their hands and the hills chant in chorus before the one who even now arrives. Lishbot haaretz, yishbot hevel v'tzedek, v'yamim b'mei yesharim. Adonai malach yirizu amim. On page 17 and 18, Yoshev kiruvim tanut haaretz. V'aminu Adonai Eloheinu v'shtachavu le'akazamzu. Moshe v'Aaron b'chvanam, u'Shmuel b'korei Shimon, korim el Adonai, Yedamer Alehem Shamruei Dosam Vechok Nosalamo Adonai Eloheinu Ata Anisam El Nosei Yisalahem Venokei Malalinosam Romemu Adonai Eloheinu Nishtachavu lehar kodesho Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Please rise if you're able. Psalm 29, the Psalm of Friday, the Psalm of Malchut, of Yesod, of all energies gathered together, being released as the ground holds you, as your shoulders relax, as your voice resonates. Mismorte Davim Adonai Benegelim Havula Donai Kavod Va'os Ayai Hamnadonai Egeroshimo Ishmachamula Come on, everybody, we need to hear your words singing. Kulo Omer Kavod, Adonai Lama Yashav, Adonai Os, Avayat Yivarech Edama Bashalom, we hear you up here on 105th Street. You may be seated as we turn to page 21 and 22. Tarenu nora nagibo lo sheyichu lecha kirvava v'shamim barchem darei mechametzit kastamire kamalei. Towards the bottom of the page, these words Yachid Geyeh. So I invite you to take a moment, everyone, just to close your eyes for 2 minutes. If you're sitting up against the back of your chair, just sit a little bit forward so that your body kind of feels like it's being held, even as you notice the chair beneath you or the ground beneath you is holding you. How's that? It's hard to invite people to relax when you feel like you're yelling at them, but I'll try. Relax. Please. So just noticing what it's like to just gently tuck your chin in ever so slightly, 1 inch, and see if that gives you a little bit more lift in your body. Just 1 inch of inwardness, of not running and leaning into the present or the future, can give us a bit more space. So if you'd like to say no with your head, Shabbat is a day of Shemitah, of saying no to certain things and saying yes to others. What's it like to stop? Just noticing the quality of your body as you sit here, allowing yourself to feel what you feel, to notice what you notice. Beini uveinechem os hi leolam. Shabbat is public and private. It faces the outside even as it invites us to turn inside. That stay in your space even as you are with others. Shabbat is outside and it is inside. It is received and it is created. All of those things in every moment. So how much Shabbos do you want this Shabbos? Matana tova yesh li bebeit genazai v'shabbat shma v'chemor lahem. God says in the Midrash, Shabbat is a present and I'm giving it to the Jewish people, so go tell them. Mishir rotzeh yavo v'yitov, whoever wants, come and take Shabbat. For you, for your heart. And if you feel comfortable, whenever you do, opening your eyes at your own rhythm, your own pace, finding the words of Shlomo Alkabetz, the great poet in the 16th century in northern Tzfat, in northern Israel in Tzfat. Chadodi can be found on page 23 and 24. Great Abraham Joshua Heschel wrote, there is a realm of time where the goal is not to have, but to be. Not to own, but to give. Not to control, but to share. Not to subdue, but to be in accord. Lecha dodi likrat kala v'nei Shabbat nekabla lecha lecha ay lay 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 likrat kala ay lay 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 beautiful Shamor ay ay Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad ishmiyanu echad meyuchad Adonai echad echad leshem u'tiferes v'lezira echad ay lay 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 likrat kala likrat kala b'nei Shabbat likrat ay ay likrat Shabbat לקראת קהלת שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קהלת שבת Yalla la yalla la yalla 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 la 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 ay 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 la kanoni la 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 Shabbat nekabela likhanoni likakala yalla 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 emne Shabbat ay ay lo te boshin me lo tikani ma tishtokake umatregemi ma gekhetsu ani yami ve nimnita atila likhanoni ay ay yalla emne Shabbat nekabela Likhanoni likakala yel yel Nehamad nekamela mama Yayu lipshisa Chogo saye Hey lakakun Kome balaye Ye asisa laye Hey lungaye Tim sustatan Atanakala
Shabbat nekamela Ay 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 Likhanoni likakala yala 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 Shabbat nekamela
Yamin usmo inoti beyetandonai ta'aritzi agerish beybalzi beyenismicha benagida likhandodi yalla yalla emne Shabbat nikamela ay 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 likhandodi nikamela ay 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 You guys got it. Ay la 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 ay la 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 la
Shabbat nekabela ay 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 Shabbat nekabela la la Shabbat nekabela Likadodi likakala yala 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 Bnei Shabbat nekabela La la la
Shabbat nekabela
Chadodi likakala yala yala yala
in Shabbat nekabela Baba boy ateres bala gam simcha ubesohala Shabbat nekabela lechadodi likras yamala 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela Mizmor shir liyom HaShabbos On page 27 and 28, as we turn to face Yerushalayim, please remain standing if you're able. Tov le'onos l'Adonai l'zamed l'shimcha el yolagi b'bokei chasdech v'motzcha v'el Magan u'mazecha Adonai v'odam kumak shosecha V'ata be'nei b'shurai v'kamim alai b'reim tishma'na oznai Tzadik katamar
Yefa Ke'el Baron Yizkat Shesurim Be'eis Adonai Bechatzot Eloheinu Yafrichu Or Yenuvon Neshenim Ve'anarim
On page 29. Nachon kisacha me'oz me'olam atanas u'nos kununai. Nedosecha nemnu me'od levetzchana v'kodesh Adonai ve'orech yamim. As we bring to mind those in our community who are in need of healing tonight, this pause between parts of the prayer service, traditionally a moment to invite mourners who would otherwise not be inside of the more celebratory Kabbalat Shabbat and be waiting outside, as it were, for us to enter, to welcome them in. It's customary in traditional communities to turn to the door to face those who are in Avelut, those who are mourning, and to wish them peace and healing, which we extend now beyond that particular context to those who are suffering in body, heart, mind, and spirit tonight. Some, like our dear Joe Youngerman and others who are in our hearts and prayers at every moment for healing. Let there be healing.
Healer of the broken, I'm here to sing a song. Find our sacred story, another melody of love.
ויברך ויעבד את כל החולים ועבור שכולנו מתפללים בעבורם בשכר זה הקדוש ברוך הוא ולרחמים עליהם להחלימם לרבות ולחזיקם לחזי אותם ושלח בהם רפואה שלמה מן השמיים לרמח אברהם ושפקדיהם. May there be healing in body, in heart, in mind, spirit for all those Amen. You may be seated, everyone, just for a brief moment here. A couple of very brief announcements, and then we'll invite people who are here for the first time. Anyone, or if you haven't been here for a long time, also, that's cool too. That's good. Some people also in the Zuma space. Anybody who's there for the first time or some such thing. We're going to make a couple of very brief announcements to you. So tonight, everybody, immediately following services, everybody here is invited after Shabbat services tonight, which ended in about 45 minutes or so, to take a walk over to Central Park for our member picnic tonight. It's going to be cool. I think we're going to have a good time over there in Central Park with some picnicking and hanging out. There are about 250 plus members who have already renewed during our membership drive, which is above average for our year. So we're doing great with members. And so we'd love to have a chance to hang out with y'all. I just did y'all. I just did that. That was y'all. Did you like that?
Yes.
You did? Okay, good. I don't know, y'all. And so that's following services. And then tomorrow morning, we're going to be having our open book Parsha class at 8:45. I'll be teaching that tomorrow morning. And then stick around for the bat mitzvah of a remarkable young woman. Harlow was going to be having her bat mitzvah here. So mazel tov to Ed and to Christina. And mazel to the Romemu community, because Harlow has been a part of our community from the beginning, like really mamish, like literally one of the first kids in our community. So that's going to be so exciting tomorrow. And also we'll be celebrating a bittersweet moment as my friend and our friend, Lane, Torah reader par excellence, and Chazan also. Cantor Gary Goldman will be making Aliyah this week. So we're super excited to be able to give you an Aliyah tomorrow and to celebrate together with you and Deb and everybody. So super amazing. Also, just a couple more brief announcements here. We are, let's see. So we are going to be celebrating Pride Shabbat next Shabbat, June 24th will be Pride Shabbat here at Romemu. And also we have a workshop called the Queer Jewish Zine Workshop that's going to be on June 21st. That's this coming week. And also Justice in the Land, Then and Now, State Senator Sidney Kamlager in conversation with IKAR, part of our broader relationship with the IKAR community and other members of the Jewish Immersion Network. This Queer Jewish Zine Workshop is going to be with the Brooklyn Romemu Queer Kihila. It'll be zine making with Aaron and Em as they explore zines, Torah, and queer identity. It'll be a DIY workshop. We'll leave you full in your Jewish queerness. We'll leave you full in your Jewish queerness. I love that phrase. That's a great line. And so that's what's on the docket for the week ahead. You can find out more if you'd like, when you're not, let's say, in prayer head and prayer heart, and you might not remember the details. It's all on our website, and thankfully, so you're not going to lose anything. All right, enough with the announcements. Hi, how's it going? Anybody here for the first time want to say hello? Like, I got myself a trusty. I'm gonna run over. I'm running over. Watch this. That's my Phil Donnie, exactly. Here you go. Hey guys, why don't you stand up if you don't mind? Cool. What are your names and maybe where you're from?
I'm David Posen.
I'm Clara Posen.
Jessica.
I'm Sam.
And we live right here in the neighborhood, but we haven't had a chance to come yet in person, so we're happy to be joining you tonight.
How many people were thinking they were going to say, and we're the Posner something? I thought that was going to happen. You're the Posen family. Nice to have you guys here. Thanks for coming in and for standing up. You didn't really have a choice, but you did kind of. Okay. Who's that?
I'm Nadia Surtees. I'm here from Sydney, Australia, and I heard about Romemu through the Burning Man community, and I'm very happy to be here.
Nadia's here from Australia and the Burning Man community. Okay. People hear about us from all different communities. We're kind of eclectic that way. It's loving. Really great to have you, Nadia. Wonderful.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. I used to live in Chicago where I would go to Mishkan, and I heard that Romemu, was the New York City equivalent. So I finally made it here.
Sister community in Chicago called Mishkan. And Anybody else? We're gonna move this way. Okay, awesome. It's breezy when you walk. I'm walking quickly. Breezy.
I'm Alex Rosenberg. I'm visiting from Congregation Shal Zahav in San Francisco.
And I'm Mike Rosenberg, also visiting from the same place.
Amazing. Welcome from Shari Zahav. I think you can say hello. You haven't been there 2 years.
Hi, I'm Eileen Fisher. I live in Denver. I was a member and I'm still a member here. And I'm thrilled to be back. It has been 2 years since I've been here. So.
Okay.
This is Ayla from Brooklyn. She normally goes to Romemu, Brooklyn. She's visiting.
Oh. Honestly. So honest. People in the Zoom space, and then we're gonna rise for Marif. Anybody in the Zoom space? Let's see. I don't know why, but you know what? I can't see the chat. Oh, there it is. Okay. Let's see. Anybody in the Zoom space? Let's see. Say there. Nobody new in the Zoom space. And if there is somebody new, we welcome you, even if you didn't tell us. Good to have you here with us. 71 cameras are open or screens together with all of those here in the very relaxingly and well, it's kind of toasty in here, right? It's nice and, anybody want to wear a wool talit? Okay. Richard Gedoldik, good to see you, Richard. Shabbos, brother. I got the Heller family, Mishpucha, also, very nice. Also, okay, let's rise together for our call to prayer, the Baruch Hu. Page 33 and 34, Brucha Shechina. Eloheinu Ruach Haolam, Shevet Varam Ariva Aravim B'Chochma Potach Hasherim, U'Betmuna Mishana Iti Machlifat Hazmanim, ומסדר את הכוכבים שלכם ברקיע כצאנה. בורא גם בלילה גוללת כמו מבני חושך וראש מפני אור. אין לה חיה וקיימת, תמיד תמלך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך את שכינה המריבה ערבים. אהבת עולם בית ישראל on page 35 and 36. תורה מצוות חוקים משפטים. As we touch into the love of generations, the love of our ancestors, the love of our lineage, the wisdom around us, the wisdom that has been planted within us, that has been graced, as we take a moment to practice appreciating the love in our lives. ואהבתך אל תשים ממנו לעולמים. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. We prepare for Shema on page 37 and 38. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai On page 40 and 39. V'yohavta eis Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavcha hayom al levavecha ושיננתם לבניך בדיבת הבם בשבתך ובביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכספתם על מזוזות ביתך Continue on page 41 with the second paragraph, followed by page 43 with the third paragraph of the Shema V'Yal Yishamot Yishmu. Now, if you will listen to my asking that I ask you this day, to love the well of life and serve it with all your heart and soul, I will then pour rain upon the land in its season, autumn rain and spring rain. You will gather in your grains, your wine and your oil, and I will put grass in the field for your animals. You will eat and be satisfied, but guard yourselves lest your hearts be seduced. And you turn and serve alienated gods and bow down to them, then the well of life will be wounded, and will close up the sky so there is no rain. The earth will yield no harvest. Put these words on your hearts, on your souls. Teach your children to speak of them when you sit in your home. When you go on your journeys, write them on the doorposts of your houses. ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור דבר לבני ישראל ואמרת עליהם יעשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדרוס ונשמע ציצית צדקה צדקה ציצית וריסם also זכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני צאתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני Adonai Elohechem Emet. I'm not kidding with you. Page 47 and 48. You know, the more common ways to talk about freedom and liberation is to say that my liberation is bound with yours. No one is free until everyone is free. And the Israelites sang this song on the sea. What a remarkable memory to be a free people. Liot Am Chofshi. We pray for all people that they might also sing their unique song of freedom. May it be soon, with great joy, b'simcha rabbah, that everyone might say, V'yamru chulam. On page 49, Yalainu Shalom. Amidir Malkinu L'chaim. Ufros Aleinu Tzugashnu Nechvasaknei. Nabi Yetzer Tov Amidir Yashin Laman Shemelagim Badeinu. Yisem Yaleinu. Yel Melechanu Lechumata. Ushmor Tzeiseinu. Uvoeinu L'chaim L'shalom Yata V'yad Ulam. Ufros Aleinu Sukamat Sukamat Shalom Echam Ufros Aleinu Aleinu, Sugat Shlomecha, Baruch Atah Adonai, Hapore Sugat Shalom Aleinu Velkol Amo Yisrael Velkol Yoshvei Tevel, V'Yagal Yerushalayim. Please rise if you're able.
ישראל
את השבת. Page 51.
לעשות את השבת
לדורותם בגזרתם. ראיני ובני ישראל עוזים לעולם.
ששת ימים
עשה
אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי
יזכנה ויזכנה שמי רבה. אלמני ורחידו סמי המנחמן חוסק וחיי כל ויולי כל ומחיי לכל בית ישראל. מגלה בה הגלה ובזמן ימנועה. יהי שמי רבה מבורך ועלמו ילמי יזברך וישתבח ויסבר וישרום ויסנסק ויסהדר ויסלל ויסלל שמי דקודשה ברכו לעילה מן קובר חסך נשיר עשה תוש
בחרתה ונחמתה תמירן בעלמה
נעשה
אמן.
Amidah can be found in your Sidurim on page 55 and 56, or in your own silence, your own presence with the divine as we stand together. I don't know about you, but I sometimes have days where I think to myself, no matter what I do, it won't be good enough. Anybody ever have that? Wow, I'm not alone. I don't know about you, but sometimes I have days where I think that whatever it is that I have to offer, whatever small contribution I might make, it won't be nearly sufficient to stem the tide of whatever it is. I don't know about you, but maybe some of you have had that also. The sense of futility, the sense that maybe the job is too overwhelming. What could I possibly contribute? What could I possibly do? What could I possibly add? It's hard when watching the recent public hearing going on in Washington, D.C. It's hard not to feel that some things in this country are too big. It's hard not to feel overwhelmed when one looks at what's going on in any given area of radical social change that we all want to see, or not we all, but maybe many of us want to see. It's kind of natural to feel overwhelmed by that, the enormity of it, the immensity of it. The Sisyphusian feeling of impotence and inevitability, and here we go. And it's hard not to feel despair, right? It's hard. It's a profoundly natural, I think, experience. One looks at a situation that feels impossible, unbudging, and shum sikui, there's no way to throw up one's hands and say, chalas, no way. And if that's true for us in our lives, if it's true for us in our day-to-day living, if it's true for us in our family life sometimes, or our relational life sometimes, or very often in our social life, imagine what it's like theologically speaking. Meaning, ma enosh ki tizkerenu uven adam ki tifgenenu. What are we when it comes to the divine scheme of things, divine perfection? In what way, shape, or form does our service, does our worship, does our moving the needle matter in infinity's calculation? A grain of sand against the infinity of universes, the infinity of possible universes. I don't know about you, but that's slightly different, but it kind of feels similar to some despair that we might feel on a more mundane, prosaic level, kind of just to the X factor. Like, God, what was my time here on earth for? I know, light thoughts like that one that might hit you, I don't know, say, making a peanut butter sandwich for your 8-year-old. But I digress. It's hard not to feel when we look at the specter of the temporal, of time itself, and our capacity agentically, like our agency to do something, that we come up against a wall of despair when we think about the enormity of what has to be done and our minuscule capacity to contribute. This phenomena appears, believe it or not, in tomorrow morning's Torah reading, Parshat B'Halotcha, the book of Numbers, will bring us to the point where God will tell Moses to tell his brother Aaron, "Be'aloschas aneros," when you will light the candelabra, the menorah in the temple. Make sure that you tell Aaron that's his job. He's got to light the candle. He's got to light the menorah. And it's on this mitzvah, on this commandment to light the menorah of the ancient priests, that the rabbis have a moment of theological vertigo, like some moment. It's not earlier in the Torah when the actual commandment is given to have a menorah, but here, when Aaron the priest will light the menorah, the rabbis say, to what can this be compared? This is the Midrash in Breshit, in Bamidbar Rabbah, in the great corpus of Midrashic material. To what can this be compared? What is this like, say the rabbis? Like a king who had a friend, the king said to him, know that I will dine with you at your house, so go and prepare for me, the king says. The president's coming over. The friend goes and prepares a layperson's couch, a layperson's lamp, and a layperson's table. And when the king arrived, an entourage surrounded him on either side with a golden candelabra was in front of him. And once the friend saw all of the glory of the king, he became embarrassed and hid all that he had prepared, since it was all mundane. The king said to him, did I not tell you that I would dine with you? Why did you prepare nothing for me? The friend responded, I saw all of this glory that came with you, and I was embarrassed and hid it all. The king responded to him, I swear that I will ruin all of my implements that I brought, and because of your love, I will only use yours. So let's get the parable so we understand. The rabbis say that to what can we compare Aaron being told to light the candelabra in the holy temple? To a king who says to an average Joe, an average David, I want to eat by you tonight. I go home, I get the couch ready, I set up my nice plastic or IKEA plates, they're all nice. And the king shows up, and I see the king coming, whoa, an entourage. Oh, the king. I look at my paltry, pathetic, ordered in Chinese food that I ordered in for the king, and I whisk it away. And the king walks in and sees nothing prepared and says, no, didn't I say I was coming? And I have to confess, I say to the king, I saw who you were and I was embarrassed. And the king says, Abazoy, if that's the case, you're embarrassed. I'll ruin everything I have, everything. Because of your love for me, I want only what you prepared. Very strange midrash. Rabbi Aviva Richman, amazing teacher at Hadar, brings this midrash and asks, fundamentally, is the midrash trying to, what's the meaning of the midrash? Is it a good thing to be embarrassed? Because of your embarrassment, because you felt that what you gave was inadequate, because you felt that you didn't have enough, I only want what you have. What's the nature of this embarrassment? So she brings the Sfat Emet, the great Ger Rebbe, who writes that this is a tragedy, that this friend is the anti-role model. Ki be'emes haya haderech hanechona she'achina achuv asher lo avsher ro'eh kelim shel hamelech hava b'yichein. So the sadness of this story is that the person was so embarrassed by what he was bringing, so embarrassed by what he could offer the king that he threw it away. And the Sfas Emes, the Ger Rebbe in the later part of the 19th century reads, this is a tragedy. It's a tragedy that this person thought that what they had to offer was inconsequential. And nonetheless, God says, the king says, I still want what you have, but next time, there's another way to read it. And the Sfas Emes, the same Hasidic author, Yehuda Leib Alter of Ger, offers years later a completely different about face. He writes, not that it was wrong, but a surefire sign, a sure indicator of the love of the friend was this willingness to be embarrassed. A recognition of how timid and timorous what could be offered is. Which one is it? Don't feel timid. Feel that whatever you have to offer is good enough and don't throw it away. Or which one? Or say no. And Rabbi Richman writes, both of them are true. And what does this have to do with theology and meaning? Clearly, the parable is speaking to our inadequacy in the face of something so much bigger and so much grander than we could possibly imagine. The sense of futility. What could I possibly offer the one who has everything? Little Mermaid in the middle of my sermon? I've got who's it's and what's it's galore. Like the one who has everything. You come before God and you say, what can I possibly give you? What do you need, infinity? What does infinity need from me? A yelod enosh, like I'm just a person. What can I possibly give you? And the despair that comes, a willingness to destroy everything in the face of that perfection, of that ideal, of that lofty goal, of that monumental enterprise. To throw up our hands and say, you know what, there's no way. And so Avi Richman and others say that essentially here, there is a natural embarrassment when faced with the infinite, with the impossible, with the insurmountable. And despair is natural. But don't give in. Because God says, I want what you have to bring. I want what you have to bring. And maybe more importantly, that the very little bit that you bring matters. The very little bit that you do pushes infinity ever so much closer. So don't give up. It's hard when we sit here during the month of Pride, and on the weekend where we're going to celebrate Juneteenth on Monday. It's easy, I wouldn't say easy, but understandable maybe, for us to look at the course of history, look at the course of moments of great despair, to look at where things are and not only notice, right, where we have come from, but how much further we have to go. It's so important for us to recognize that there is so much more to do, especially now, to protect LGBTQ plus folk in our communities and in this country, especially at this moment. It's so vital for us to recognize how much further we have to do with the racial reckoning that exists in this country. We only have to look at what's happening this week at the insurrection hearings. But it's also overwhelming and daunting at times, isn't it? It's overwhelming and daunting to think about how much is yet to be accomplished. How much can I do? How much can I do when it comes to gun violence? How much can I do? How much can I do if I'm being invited to go protest, to go march? How much can I do? What's the value of me lighting these paltry candles to you, God? You have light everywhere, don't you? What's my light going to add to your light? What would my meal mean to you? You have a pick of everything. Does what I ultimately do move the needle? And the Torah and the tradition says absolutely does. Every single action, every single moment, every single smile, every single vote, every single hug, every single call, every single one of them matters. How do we know? It mattered to the person that you called. It mattered to this one and that one. It mattered. I'm thinking about this so much as I walk around and feel the vestiges of the old, the normal, and how quickly the doors of perception are sliding back and forth. We're not in the pandemic in quite the way we were, but we're not out of it yet. Just walking on the street here and I see a friend of mine and we just say, hey, I haven't seen each other in 2 years. and we just start talking. And before we even, we've already in what we're kvetching about and complaining about, and then I look at her and we look at me and say, this is normal. Where's the despair? It's a small moment, but it matters. The despair is overwhelming at times, but small moments of normal, small moments of connection, small moments make the difference. Rich Orloff is a member of our community, wrote a poem on the Saturday morning in 2021 when our community, after a year of closed doors, opened our doors for the first time after 1 year and wrote this poem that morning. He wrote, on Saturday morning, April 17th, 2021, a member of a synagogue in New York opened the ark containing the Torah, and a rabbinic intern took it out and held it in her arms. Jews have been opening the ark and taking out the Torah for thousands upon thousands of Saturday mornings. But this was the first time it happened at this synagogue since the pandemic began over a year earlier. The cantor looked at the rabbinic intern and said, "You've been with us 10 months now, and I just realized this is the first time we've met in person." And the intern began to weep. Since both of her hands were holding the Torah, the rabbi took out a handkerchief and wiped her tears, which made the intern cry even more. So the rabbi wiped her tears again. Most of the synagogue watched on Zoom, a few of us sitting 6 feet apart from each other in a space chilled from lack of human warmth. We're not just witnesses, but the first of many returning from exile, which is what Jews have done whenever they can, in one way or another, together, in search of sanctuary. In one way or another, in search of sanctuary. The Torah comes this Shabbat to tell us that those moments of reaching out to dispel the darkness, those moments of appreciation of what things were like a year ago, 6 months ago, 3 months ago, those moments of gratitude and appreciation, those moments matter. Every moment of aliyah, of going up, of elevating matters. It was a few short years ago, I'm sure, that our friend Gary, who's here with us tonight, probably thought that his dream of living in Israel was a pipe dream, something that could never, ever happen. Would Israel need you, Gary, to live there? After all, millions of Jews already live there. What could you possibly contribute to that society? You might have imagined, or you have too many things here in New York and in America that make it impossible, but you dreamed a dream, and with every day, you deposited hope that your dream might become a reality. This coming week actually will be Beha'alotcha, when you will actually make Aliyah, when you will be elevated, as it were, by joining children and grandchildren and Deb's children and grandchildren in Tel Aviv in Eretz Israel. And so we bless you tonight, and we'll bless you again tomorrow, but I wanted to say to you tonight that in me, you have brought a reminder not to give up on a dream, not to give up on a hope, even if it seems far away, to continue to plug away one little day at a time until that moment when there'll be a full aliyah, a full elevation for you, for all of us here, wherever you are. May God bless you and bless all of us with a reminder that what you make for dinner, what you prepare, what you got to give is what God needs for her, for the world, and for our collective elevation and liberation. Please rise. Aleinu on page 77 and 78. עלינו לשבח
לאדון
לאדון
הכל,
לתת גדולה ויוצר
ראשית,
שלא עשנו כגויי הרצון ולא שמענו עם משפחות ואדמה ששם חלקנו עמכם וגורלנו כל העולם ואנחנו קוראים
ומשתחווים ומודים
לפני מלך
מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך
Shemunat Shemaim Yosef Arts Moshe Kol. In the middle of page 78, V'hashevota El levavecha Ki Adonai Hu Elohim V'hashevota El levavecha Ki Avaya Ya Elohim Vashamani Mal V'Aretz B'Dacharin Al Ki Negaved Echad Adonai Eloheinu Rabbi Here with the Vedas Ach Levi Gilul Ne'emat page 79 and 80 Kablu Kulam Et Omach Usecha V'Timloch Aleihem Meir Ali Olam V'Ed Gamach Choshecha Yilam Et Timloch B'Chavon Kakasur Besorasecha Adonai Yimloch Leolam V'Ed V'Ne'emar V'Haya Adonai Lemelech Al Kol Haaretz Vayom Hahu Vayom Hahu Yeh Adonai Ushemo 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 Into our holy space, our sacred space, this container of love and connection. We invite those who are in mourning, remembering a loved one, to please remain standing. Remember tonight Arthur and Charlotte Frank, Evan Burks, Gavin Sword, Yiniwer Kasa Yitzchak, and those in this community at this moment who are standing. Richard.
My father will look nursing
Ava. Okay. We also have names in the chat area. I don't know if people will make it to the chat area to make those names available. Okay. We lift up all of those names and all of those loved ones, all the souls in our community who are in need of remembrance this evening. I invite you to rise. If your custom is to stand, some have the custom to stand for the mourners as well in solidarity. Honorable Judge Harvey Sorkow and Rosie Friedman. The mourners' kaddish can be found in your Sidurim in the back of the Sidur, on page 115 and 16. Yiskadal v'yiskadash shmei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'alama divrach yirusei v'yamlich machusei. V'chayichon v'yamichon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael. Ba'gala u'bizman kariv imru. Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mivorach. Elam l'mei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnasei. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudsha brichu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran me'oma v'imru.
Amen.
Yehi shloma rabba min shmaya v'chayim, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom v'romav, v'yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru. Amen. May their memory be a blessing. Yeh zechram baruch. I invite everybody to remain standing. If you're not already standing, please rise as we make Kiddush tonight. Invite our bat mitzvah Harlo to come forward. You excited about tomorrow?
Kind of.
Kind of nervous?
Yeah. More nervous than excited.
More nervous than excited? It's just nervous is just excitement without room. You just okay. So wait a second. Let's get the Kiddush on page 88. Into this cup of blessing tonight. Oh my goodness, so many brachot into this cup of blessing. Our amazing davening team, tonight's worship leaders, Judy Gray and Ari Axelrod and Luke Wagodny. So beautiful. Thank you to Nate behind the camera and the entire team. Also, I think Grace is on the Zoom as well. Thank you for that. And Victor is running around all day, making the space available to Victor, to Jeff Kahn, to Freddie, Blanca, Erica, the whole team. We're so blessed to have that team with us. Also, a big mazel tov again. I started today with mazel tov to Aunt Joni. Joni Miller has been one of the most remarkable lay leaders, I think, in Romemu history. Might have to put you on the wall of great lay leaders in Romemu. There's nobody probably who has made as many phone calls to our members in the last couple of years than Joan Miller. Aunt Joni came to Romemu through her nephew and fell in love with this community, and we fell in love with you, Joni. And we know that you wanted so badly to be in New York City for your birthday, but you couldn't find a place to stay. So in your honor, we're gonna really, really make an effort and to start to try to create to get people who have extra rooms, that kind of thing, and really start to use a community board to find out who has space so people can come into town. Thanks for catalyzing that, as you usually do, Joni, some kind of change in our community. Tomorrow we have a cake for you, so I just want you to know that. So if you can come in tomorrow just for the day, there'll be a chance to have a piece of cake. That's tomorrow morning, but either way, we'll eat a piece of cake for you, even if you're not here. And thank you for your deliciousness in this community. So into this cup of blessing, the beautiful community. Ready? Yeah, Yom HaShishi on page 88 again.
Oh, let me not spill this. Yom HaShishi, Vayechulu Hashamayim veHaaretz, Vechol Tzevam, Vayechal Elohim Bayom HaShvi'i, Melachto Asher Asa, Vayishpot Bayom HaShvi'i, Mikol Melachto Asher Asa, Vayevarech Elohim et Yom HaShavi'i, Vayikadesh oto, Kivo Shevat Mikol Melachto, Asher bara Elohim la'asot. Savri Chavarai.
I am.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvot haverat tzavanu, v'kibah kodsho behavav rotzon yichilanu, zikaron lema'aseh Bereshit, ki hu yom techila lemikrayim kodesh, zechel letziyat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta, v'yotanu kidashta, im kol amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'hava v'ratzon, hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh Shabbat.
Amen.
Yeah.
Listen to the waves as they say, Shabbat Shalom Elayam. shalom, Shabbat shalom,
Shabbat shalom,
Shabbat shalom,
Shabbat shalom,
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Listen, Nancy, get Shabbos. Rachel, Tal, get Shabbos. Esther, Shabbos. Ronnie, get Shabbos. Shabbos, get Shabbos. The way, as they say, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbos Pam and Susie, Stephen, Devorah, Shabbos Amy, and Lauren.
Shalom, Shabbat shalom.
Shabbos Samuel and Jonathan. May you all have a peaceful Shabbat, everybody. Don't forget to leave the sanctuary by saying hello to somebody that you haven't seen before. Kabbalat Panim, receive somebody, wish them a Shabbat Shalom as we make our way. Good Shabbos to everybody. Good Shabbos to the Zumagog. Good Shabbos. See you tomorrow. Yeshua Koach, Harlem.